the dream.
That's how we're starting the video. Welcome to the podcast. Doesn't have a name. With no
Number
name.
2!
Whatever name. Episode 2. We did it, lads. We're on episode 2.
We actually managed to do it
Yeah.
again and not just it be a one-time thing.
Exactly. We're such gamers, bro. And this time
And
we're playing
again,
Power
we-
Washer, so we don't just stop playing mid-game to like have a conversation. Because you can watch anything and have a conversation.
Yeah, this is just the kind of thing that you can just do. I'd do this IRL and just have a chat.
Yeah. It's
How
quite
could you not?
propaganda.
I say that, I'm probably chat shit, but
I'm probably talking out my ass, but
even so, it's fine.
so the topic
Yes.
on the board today is Doctor Who. I thought I'd do, you know, as the first episode, we'd have it a bit like Star Wars. I'm not as like into as I'm more of a casual fan of Star Wars. In terms of the new movies didn't irritate me as much as they would as Doctor Who's downfall, we will say for now until we get into it and I get bitter enough.
It's
But
gonna be salty as hell.
yeah, this is gonna be the saltiest fucking thing you have ever fucking seen. And also, it's not gonna cut in between, you know. So yeah.
We gotta love them.
And also, my co-host, I don't think has watched the end of like podcasts and videos nowadays, because you know the Rickroll meme.
Yeah.
What's the end of any video I make from now on? Because they're
Oh my god.
it doesn't,
Why
you
are you like
you don't
this?
get Rickrolled. Yeah, I realise you haven't seen.
No, I haven't watched it, so for God's sake.
Anyway,
No one told me about this. I was not made aware.
so basically, you know, I feel like we should start on a positive note because
We are fans.
Yeah.
That is the simplest way to put it.
yeah. So considering it's my channel, and as you know, as the bitch, you can go second. Anyway,
Damn, boy. That's pretty crazy.
look, I'm not saying you're a bitch. I'm just saying you're my bitch. It's different, you know.
Whoa, hold up. We ain't like that. We ain't like that.
No, I never. Okay, I know. Look, why do you always gotta make things weird? Look,
This is not the time or the place.
look. Stop making
Anyway.
things inappropriate. You know, God. Can't call your homie a bitch nowadays.
You can't do it and get away with it.
Yeah, can't I have a platonic bitch? Anyway,
So
so-
do your thing. What is
we have. I feel like we have enough equal amounts of like positive things to say, but in terms of what we like, it differs. Like my favorite Doctor, fight me, motherfuckers, is Matt Smith, and I will die on this hill. Everyone's like, oh, he's annoying. He's shush, 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 shush.
Wait, people think he's annoying.
Yeah, they were like, oh, David Tennant's better. I didn't ask you. These are my opinions, and they're the right opinion.
Okay, you're literally doing exactly what they're doing, just with a different person.
No. Here's what I'm doing. I'm stoking the flames. I don't believe my opinion is the right opinion. I just know it's going to make people unhappy. This is my joy in life. It's not being the contrarian. It's injecting the same suffering that others do to others. You know. This brings
Whatever.
me great joy. But anyway, yeah, I just you know when you like as a child, I was very like I'm not gonna be like I was as smart as like the Doctor. I was as stupid as the Doctor. And I feel like if you watch Doctor Who, you know what I'm talking about when I say that statement. Like,
he is kind of still a child.
yeah,
really.
socially, the Doctor ain't all in it. You know, he's like, he's not kind of like social awkwardness vibe about
He's a
it.
little bit of a butterfly.
Yeah,
times.
until he has to get his shit together to save the world, then he's like, shut the fuck up, human. It's not time for like all.
Care what you have to say.
Yeah, nobody human has anything to say to me today, and all that. You know, so basically, I really liked Matt Smith's run. I loved Rory. I loved Amy, even though she was a bit of a for the street, as we should say, in terms of the Doctor and her passion for him, we shall say, which was a little weird when he became, you know, married to their daughter. Little weird, but like.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just what space time.
Yeah,
crap, whatever.
wibbly wobbly.
It
timey-wimey,
happens.
yeah.
Wibbly wobbly time. Well, I mean, just bollocks, you know. They do what they want here.
But,
No, honestly,
yeah.
it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, but yeah, and Clara was all right when she was with David Tennant, and then, you know, Peter Capaldi. I unironically was happy when she died on the show. This is just to clarify here. I'm not saying I hate the actor. And I'm glad the actor died. Wanna make that clear. I'm not trying. Like, I don't know the actor or care about the actor in terms of like, I don't know who she is or that. I just don't like the character she played. Want to make that very clear. There's a difference. I'm not some sort of psychopath. Want to make that very clear.
Hold up, really? Whoa.
Yeah, I'm not. Sorry.
Really get out. Really guess.
Yeah. So that's yeah. So in terms of, I grew up on the show, really like it, which is why season 11 and onwards annoyed me aggressively. Some would say irrationally.
It was just like, what the hell have you done?
Yeah.
Give me my child back.
Exactly. What did you do to my child? Anyway, do you want to
No,
explain
you don't.
your Doctor's mans and yours favourites and
Yeah, so I mean, I started off with a cheeky bit of Eccleston here and there, you know. Like, I mean, I didn't necessarily go out of my way to watch it, but it would be on, and I think, you know what? Let's check it out. Let's see what's going on, kind of thing. And I did enjoy it. Obviously, Eccleston didn't get as much time as the other lads.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever. He had his time. That's just the way it be sometimes.
It is what it is.
For God's sake. Yeah, obviously stuck to it through Tennant and Smith, and I will say probably Tennant is probably still number one, because that might be because I pretty much like him in almost everything he does anyway.
Yeah, pretty fair.
He's just pretty great. He's a pretty
He was a class
legendary
act
being.
in what's it called? What's that Marvel show? Jessica Jones. I liked him in that.
I cannot say anything. I haven't seen
Well,
it, but yes, I shall. That it works towards my point, so I'll accept it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, I just went through, and I kept obviously coming back throughout all that,
Yeah.
and then the newer stuff came along. Yeah, it happened, and I mean, right, I just want to get this out of the way right now. I don't dislike Jodie Whittaker. I actually quite like her as an actor.
I haven't seen her in anything else, so I don't know her as an actor. I just know I didn't like what she did in Doctor Who.
And the thing is, I don't necessarily put that down to a fault of her. 100%.
Yeah, I feel like it feels like a bit of a like 70-30 situation, her being the 30%.
Yeah, and the majority being, haha, writers, thank you so much
Yeah,
for this.
what's his face? Who's the showrunner now? I can't remember his name.
I don't know his name.
Yeah, whoever he is, I'll look it up later, and you know, yeah, I don't like you, so.
It was just weird because
You're touching my child.
everything felt kind of forced.
Yeah.
It was no longer like, hey, here's some like cool crazy aliens. Let's blow some stuff up now, trying to save the world.
Or
And
it was
more,
here.
like-
Let me take all of my. You know what would be a great thing to send my all of my race differently diverse group of friends to a place where racism is prevalent and like racist attacks are like prevalent. Yeah, let's go there. Like
Yeah, they did all the weird like historical stuff, and it was kind of weird.
yeah,
I'm gonna be real. It was
knowing the Doctor, he would, she, whoever the fuck, would never put his friends directly in danger like that ever. So it felt like they were there for the plot and not for any kind of internal logic of the characters or even the TARDIS.
yeah. Well, they were there for the sake of them. The writers trying to prove a point. They just chucked like the actual Doctor stuff in there just so it still seems like an episode of Doctor Who.
Yeah, because
And it really wasn't.
yeah, because I don't like episodes of any TV show where all they have to say about like that is just racism bad. Because my immediate thought is, do you want a gold star? That's like everyone else figured that shit out decades ago, and you're like, we did it, guys. We fixed the problem. Now people
Everything's
know that
fixed.
racism bad. Sick. Glad
You
you
really
know that
think
now.
people are so thick?
Yeah.
Like-
Also, what racist is gonna watch Doctor Who and be like, you know what? I've changed my mind. Thank you, showrunners. Now, I know my opinions are wrong now. It's just.
Oh, Jesus. It's just confusing that this is the way they decided to take it. It's like they have this platform of like a very large amount of people that love this show and will watch it religiously.
Yeah.
In some cases, no matter if it's crap or not, just out of loyalty
Yeah.
to the series, and decided, hey, let's use our platform for the greater good, you know? Let's just not do what we're actually here to do, entertain people, but teach people lessons.
Yeah.
And I'm not here to learn, I'm here to be entertained.
Yeah, not even that. You could do that and also still be entertaining. Like, you could have, say, you could get a companion. They could actually change up the dynamic. Say, get a companion who is like from the future. So all of the like ills of our time are like completely foreign to them.
Completely lost on them,
Yeah,
yeah.
like they don't understand what someone who's homophobic is. They don't understand what someone who's racist is. They could be gay if you like, but that would be interesting because the companion's now in a completely different place and is still asking lots of questions, and you could still tackle those things. You don't have to do it every time, but that's an actual interesting thing with a progressive stance that people would watch and like. But
and it still be, haha, fight aliens.
Yeah, but apparently it's smarter to just shit on people, assume the audience is a bigot, and then go from there. Like that seems that like even from a writing standpoint, that doesn't make any sense because you're immediately on the foot of attacking your audience or assuming they're so stupid they don't understand what good and bad is. Yeah, it feels so weird because those kind of stories are just so untapped in terms of like interesting things you can talk about.
Yeah, I mean, like, but I think we said we were going to start positively, and then
And then we'd shit on them.
and then this happened.
Okay.
So I think let's take a step back real quick.
Yeah, I feel like if
To the
we're gonna go
beginning.
positive, we've talked about the like characters we like. Let's go on to a neutral standing point of terms of liking, and just praise Capaldi because I can talk till I'm blue in the face until my old Matty boy, Matt Ladd, love the dude to death. You know, wherever he could literally play a piece of shit, and he'll still be my favorite actor. But I want to talk about Capaldi because Capaldi made me cry, and I want to discuss it. Like any lines he's given that are like kind of like that's a bit cringe or it doesn't make sense because we know your history. It's still saved because he's just a good actor. Like he's just the GOAT. And he also is very passionate about Doctor Who, so it's like it feels like you've got the perfect kind of storm. He's like the Andrew Garfield of Doctor Who, except he's old and he's not my favourite.
He's old and well, I mean, some would say writers were still not that good in Andrew Garfield, but
yeah,
he had some very bad writing.
He's also ideal for a Doctor character. He's a lot older.
He is.
So when he talks about like the past, there's a level of like you see it, whereas the Matt Smith and David Tennant, it's the acting that sold you on the old man routine. Like it was. You believed Matt Smith was like this old alien because his portrayal gave off an old man in a young man's body. And I'd say that's both of them. But Peter Capaldi didn't need to do that because he was already an older dude, so he just kind of needed to show up and like represent. And I appreciate the lad for it. And it was sad to watch him go, and also to like have him be the first Doctor to like not just want to die. Like that's a pretty deep thing to contemplate.
Like, yeah, back onto like Capaldi. We could admit he's kind of weird.
Yeah,
he's pretty weird, but. In all that, I never really minded it.
Yeah.
Because, like, there was the, like, weird him just deciding to play the guitar every now and then, and just be like talking about those sciencey sci-fi stuff.
I think that's pretty normal. Like, clearly the Doctor needs to play the guitar more.
I mean, I'm gonna just leave that there. And not really consider any.
Look, in his defense, he is like over 1,000 years old. You really think he didn't learn how to play the electric guitar in all his years?
You know what? I'll give you that one.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'll give you that one. Yeah. Someone like that's got to get bored at some point.
Yeah.
And be like, you know what?
I feel like he chose this new generation to be like, fuck it, I want to play the guitar.
Or even just to show it.
Yeah. Clara, look what I did today. What the fuck is wrong with you, man?
I just something just came to my mind quickly. I remembered talking about Capaldi. Remember good old Bill?
Yeah.
Just after, I think that was just after Clara, wasn't it?
Yeah, I liked Bill.
I loved Bill.
I feel like,
and she actually had like an interesting like story.
I liked that she got to be with her soggy girlfriend at the end.
Well, I mean,
that sounds so stupid.
That was yeah, anyone that hasn't seen that or doesn't remember it is going to be very confused as to what the hell you mean by that.
Basically, in her first episode, Clara, if you don't know, not Bill, if you don't know, okay, to be fair, I feel like the only criticism I have for Bill is that she says she's a lesbian at least once every episode. And I feel like if you're watching consistently, you don't need that information because you already know. But I digress. I mean, that's my only like. It just felt a bit weird because humans don't speak like that. But yeah, basically, she had a crush on this chick with like a fancy eye. She had like that like eye thing where she had like one eye that was like spooky, different shiny, color. Special. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, Bill was like, "Oh, I'll have me a piece of that." They talk. The girl gets turned into a puddle monster, and because her last memory is like, you know, wanting to put the moves on our Bill, that's all she focuses on. She's like, "Let me get some of that," and then she like leaves, I guess, and then but like leaves Bill with some sort of fucking tear. So in Bill's last episode, she gets turned into a Cyberman. Also spoilers. And then,
That is exactly what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
But yes.
And then she ends up going away and going in on adventures, being a soggy man with her like girly friend, and like leaving a doctor. And she's like, I hope I'll see you again soon. So they essentially leave Bill like open-ended because she's now some immortal soggy lady.
Yeah, honestly, to be fair, for the like endings for Doctor Companions, that like is probably pretty chill in comparison to a lot of them.
Yeah.
Because majority of the time it's death.
Yeah.
Or eternal like living in purgatory.
Yeah.
Or something stupid like that. But
or they're trapped in a different dimension.
Yeah, with
a human
angels
equivalent.
And crap.
Yeah.
I remember that episode of Rory and Amy. That was weird. And they were just stuck in like some weird other dimension thing, just chilling there. I don't really remember much of it, but that was weird.
Yeah, odd.
But anyway, yes, Bill becoming a Cyberman, I think, was one of the best twists I've seen from Doctor Who.
Yeah, it made me
and it was just
sad.
Awesome. Yeah, and I actually cared.
Yeah, I was like,
I was like, what the?
It made me so happy
that
they Clara had left, because if they did that to Clara and that's how she ended, my immediate thought was, I don't fucking care. Good.
We actually gave one about Bill.
Yeah.
And it hardly took any episodes at all. She didn't have that many.
Yeah, exactly.
And she just it was just great.
Yeah, which is why when she got to be with a socky lady, I was like, good on you, Bill. You get your lass. You go out and you like sog up the universe with your soggy.
Don't. Just don't.
You assume I was gonna make it weird, but
you already have.
Look, you're the one who's making it
Trust
weird.
me.
They were literally made out of water. I'm not making it weird.
I don't. Was it technically water? I think wasn't it some kind of like alien spacecraft fuel or something? I swear.
Motherfucker, she gives her a tear. It's close enough. We're not gonna get into the logistics of what Bill's soggy girlfriend was made out of. Fuck off. End all be all. Bill's pretty class.
We love Bill. We love Bill in this house.
She's a top lass. We stand Bill.
We stand Bill. Who was it after Bill? Who did we have after Bill?
The fam.
The fam?
Yeah, Jodie Whittaker's. Bill was the last.
I completely forgot that she was the last companion.
Yeah, she was the last hope in the sunshine and rainbows of joy and excellence in Doctor Who, and then yep. And then
okay. So I think that pretty much sums up the general consensus of just new Doctor Who.
Yeah. But the last semi-positive thing I can talk about is episode 1 of series 11 was okay. It was like the first movie in the new Star Wars trilogy. It had a lot of potential, and characterization-wise, the Doctor was untainted with any inconsistencies in terms of internal logic, and we were still figuring out the personality aspect, because that's what like has to change, whereas the consistency of the Doctor can't, essentially, because those bits are essentially his memories and what make him him or her in this case, rather than like any personality change based on the changing regeneration. So from that first episode, I like the characterization.
I believe that there is one problem that you've spoken of before in the first episode.
What is that? I cannot remember.
Regarding a certain line said by Whittaker.
Oh, that
to do with getting an upgrade?
Oh, that wasn't the first episode.
Was that not the first episode?
No.
I thought that was the first.
That was a couple episode down the line.
Oh. that's surprising.
Yeah.
But yes, how do you feel about said quote?
Basically, the funny thing is, like, just to get before we get into that deeply, as a tangent of that question, I don't think I cared as much about Jodie Whittaker, like about the Doctor being a woman. My thing was the logistics of it. Like, basically, I was talking to a teacher who liked Doctor Who, and she asked me whether it was like an issue of like, I think multiple different teachers, because there was a whole thing where a friend said they didn't like the fact that they changed genders, and someone said he's a misogynist for thinking that, which I defended him on that, because it was like, it was really stupid to call someone a misogynist because they didn't like a decision made in a TV show. And also, the person calling them a misogynist was supposed to be our fucking teacher, so it was even weirder. So
that's yucky.
It was this dude who was one of our teachers, but it was very weird, because it was just like, his thing was, it wasn't like, oh, he dislikes the female characters, it's just that he felt the Doctor was a male character, which I understand that.
Well, yeah, because it has been for decades.
Yeah, especially because when it comes to
of course
fans,
there's going to be that.
Yeah, people aren't going to like change, especially that drastic of a change.
Especially Doctor Who fans.
Yeah. So yeah, but basically, I didn't find it. Yeah, my logistic things was, my immediate question was, if now, since the Doctor can do this, if the Doctor becomes a woman and gets pregnant and then dies, what happens to the baby? Does the baby die, or does the baby regenerate?
I mean, can the Doctor even would they even be able to become pregnant in the first place?
Yeah, exactly. See, that's what I mean. To me, it wasn't the question of should it happen. It was, now we have a bunch of questions about Time Lords. Because
but I mean, then also, couldn't you also say a male Doctor a bust a nut in a human? What happens then?
Human Time Lord hybrid. Stop spraying me.
Has that happened?
No, it hasn't. No, technically, I think they've implied the Doctor is a human hybrid in old Who.
In old Who.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's a half boy,
I don't
boy.
I don't think he's half. I don't think he's half. So I don't know, because I think they retconned it as well. So, before the Timeless Child.
So it was like he's part Time Lord. However much it may be is up to question.
Yeah. I feel I think in terms of human, because humans are pretty close in terms of like looks to Time Lords. It wouldn't. Yeah. They would just be like some sort of like. They'd be more Time Lord than human, so they'd essentially be human plus.
Okay.
But
I mean, I could see that, and that would give a good reason as for why the Doctor actually cares about humans so much.
Yeah. So
because he is actually partly one of them.
Yeah. So going back. So now that we've got that out of the way, going back to why I dislike the line nowadays, because my initial reaction was kind of just like bitterness, because I've seen it so much in terms of like online and things. There was in one of the episodes of season 11, a guy who knows the Doctor when the Doctor gets introduced to him, because she's a woman now, the man reasonably, when if you have a friend or a colleague, and you know them as something that you would deem as something that you can't change about someone, you would go, what are you on about? The Doctor is a man. She interjects and goes, I've had an upgrade. And personally, I'm not going to lie to you, my initial reaction was, why is it that being a woman is an upgrade to being a man? That's a bit like unnecessarily like shitty to say that, but I digress. But more I think about it, the more I'm like, just to be clear here, you're shitting on, in terms of like fandom, you're shitting on every other Doctor that came before you,
which I feel like is probably what most of the people had a problem with.
Yeah, and not even that. It's not.
They're hating on themselves.
Yeah, because what the guy said wasn't unreasonable from a human perspective. If humans can't simply just like explode,
things and change gender.
Explode into a different gender, they're not going to suddenly be like, what do you mean the Doctor's a man? Of course he's a man. So for you to interject and be an asshole and disrespect every other life that you said you're going to cherish in previous regeneration scenes seems highly shitty for no other reasons than to like score points with people who aren't even watching. And it feels very unnecessarily like petty to like shit on over on top of your own show, on top of like a section of your audience for something that they can't.
So it may be a minimum. I have a feel. I mean, this may be completely false, but for some reason I have a feeling that the majority of viewers were probably majority male for that kind of thing. I could be completely wrong. I have no idea.
Wrong, but I
could be completely wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, even if it was like 1%, it's still shitting on some of your audience, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
The only time it'd be fair is if your audience is being shitty, but even then, it'd be like you'd still have to focus on the fact that you'd still have to come in with the facts if you're going to shit on your audience.
Yeah.
But that's why that annoyed me. But yeah, it was still just unnecessary and just shitty. And this is just the first season. This is just, at the moment, it's just a badly written show now. Instead of a good show with the odd shitty episode, it's now a shit show with the occasional okay moment. Which is annoying. The Doctor's just like mad. Like it feels like Jodie Whittaker's doing like a David Tennant impression of a Doctor rather than being her own Doctor. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like the Doctor has a hollow version of all of the morals of the Doctor. Like there are episodes where she says you don't use guns ever because they're trying to focus on the don't kill rule, but they've changed it to a no gun rule to the point where like she'll say don't use guns, someone uses a guns and the gun backfires or the gun is ineffective, so 13th Doctor goes, you see why I don't use guns? Which doesn't make sense in the eternal logic, because the reason she doesn't use guns is because they kill people. It's not because they are ineffective. Yeah, and also they're fighting robots, so it doesn't even make sense that she's like, what do you mean? Why would you even
bother trying?
She'd be like, forehead, pick up the gun that can blow up the robot, because because we can put the robot back together. Like, brother, it's not that the problem is beforehand. It's not that the Doctor is like 100% against violence. It's just that the Doctor is going to use violence at the last possible resort.
The Doctor has enacted much violence.
Yeah.
Over the years.
Again, the episode where the Doctor causes Pompeii to save the greater good. Like, this is not the same character of don't use guns, bro, guns bad. It feels like a very like shitty anti-gun thought process rather than what it actually is, which is violence should be the last resort. The focus
again, they're focusing on a message over the characters themselves.
Not even that, they're focusing on a weapon rather than the violent act in it of itself.
Guns don't kill people.
Yeah, unironically, that's the Doctor's whole thing. It's not the gun itself; it's the kind of people who use guns. Like the Doctor doesn't like soldiers purely, like not based on them as individuals, based on the fact that most soldiers are gonna follow orders regardless of their own feelings about them, which is fair that the Doctor doesn't like them. They like them because that means they're willing to do fucked up shit because they are told to, and they have weapons. So the Doctor's mindset is very nuanced in that scenario. He doesn't hate every soldier. He just has a bias in terms of like when he interacts with them.
It's probably based on experience.
Yeah, but the characterization is fucked there because it's a childish view of a no violence thought process, because instead of going, I don't like this, I don't like violence here, and here's why, and if you're gonna travel with me, you kind of have to follow my rules. It's gun bad, and it gets even worse when I can't remember the old man's name. Okay,
Do you mean one of the companions?
Yeah, one of the companions.
Do you mean Bradley Walsh?
Yeah, what's his name in the show? Will.
I have no idea, but I was so confused at first that he was a companion.
You know what?
I was very confused.
Let's go with old man. But you know what? Let's go with best companion. You know, fuck it, because the rest of them are planks of wood. But so his best companion decides, I want revenge for the Tooth Man that killed my wife. Doctor, I'm going to kill Tooth Man. And the doctor's like, if you're gonna travel with me, you can't kill people. So the doctor, instead of having, I don't know, compassion, the doctor's kind of compassion, the kind of compassion that, you know, would have some empathy considering his entire planet got nuked, and he would understand, wanting revenge. He probably doesn't like himself, and if he could, like, enact revenge on himself, he probably would. Or if he could, like, nuke the Daleks based on his feelings, he probably would. But so you think the doctor would have a conversation, but nah, the doctor's like, if you're gonna travel with me, you follow my rules, and if you don't, then I'm gonna have to like kick you out of the fam, whatever the fuck. So
do what you're told.
Yeah. So instead of having the doctor having a semblance of emotional maturity and empathy towards a grieving man's like thought process, it's like, read the rules, bro. No shirt, no shoes, no entry.
Take your shoes off at the door.
Yeah, it's just so stupid, especially because, like, to some degree, like, the doctor would empathize. It's not as cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Like, the doctor would ultimately make that decision of, you need to not do this, but it would be of a level of, this will eat at you. This will poison you more than it will make you feel good. You can't do this because I'm trying to save your soul, not because this is the rules. This says it in the handbook, bruh. Like, and it's so
you read it.
Fucking stupid. It absolutely irritates me because I'm like, the show has already done this thousands of times better. Like Matt Smith's Doctor, whenever he has to use violence, and it's because the humans are so stupid, he loses his fucking mind and is frustrated that he now has to stick his hands in filth for a bunch of fucking humans who are making stupid decisions because they're stupid. And then you have this doctor who's just like, no, don't kill, bro. Like,
don't do it, bro.
And it's just so frustrating. It's just like, nah. It makes a very poignant and interesting aspect of the Doctor now null and void, because the show essentially prioritizes no violence over the internal logic of the Doctor, which, you know, is annoying.
But then, they take it to a whole new level. Now, I think it's necessary to mention I don't even know how to say this. Okay, I couldn't say it like the game.
I love a cheeky network error.
That's what happens when you try to say the timeless child. It's just become, it's beyond a meme.
It's
just
so
how bad it is.
The Timeless Child undoes so many like plot lines.
Literally all of them. Yeah. Every single aspect of the Doctor is now no longer true.
The Doctor goes from from a human perspective, the Doctor is like this mythical god that's gonna save them. But from a Gallifrey perspective, he's just some random dude who chooses
Honestly,
to save people.
he was a bit of a douche originally. To
Yeah.
be fair, he
He was a bit
wasn't
of a
good
douche.
at what he was doing.
But not even that. He wasn't chosen for this. He wasn't some
Oh.
messiah, carving his path. He was just some random alien choosing to help people.
He could have been any of them, and that's
Yeah.
the point. He could
But
have been
now-
anyone.
Now we can't have that anymore. He's the special miracle man who also is some random black child first, and then becomes every conceivable race and gender he could possibly become while being tortured by his mother.
Well,
Even though
mother, yeah.
we've seen the Doctor's mother, and bitch, that ain't it.
Hmm.
Like, it's so stupid because it's like they wanted to point out, they wanted to like combat the criticism, so they doubled down. Oh, you don't like the Doctor's a woman? Turns out that he was a woman first. Haha. Oh, you don't like the fact that the Doctor regenerates and becomes something different? Turns out the Doctor's been every conceivable thing you could possibly think of. Haha. And it just feels like instead of actively writing a good story, they went, let's take every conceivable criticism and just double down, motherfucker. I'm just like, this isn't good. You've just highlighted everything you've done that is shit and made it worse because you went back into the history of the show and just stopped it. And also,
Tore it apart.
yeah, also it means that Matt Smith's regeneration, he just chose to die that day in the original timeline, and in a new one, the Time Lords gave him some glitter regeneration, and it sparked his regeneration. So it just ruins Trenzalore in every conceivable way because the Doctor had no reason to like be concerned that he's gonna die or be emotional about the fact that he's gonna die or any.
So he just has it.
Yeah.
Then he's like, who cares?
Yeah.
He's just gonna come back.
Like it just
Again.
How do that?
Convenience for the writers to be able to just infinitely bring in more people and not care about how many it is.
Yeah,
Just so they can keep the show going.
Yeah, but not even that.
It's just convenience.
Yeah, because the reason they broke that rule before because they used they used everything, they used things that they didn't even know they could use to change that rule, and even then they're just extending the timer.
Yeah, but now it's an infinite timer,
Yeah.
which is really stupid.
And
So there's no impact anymore.
And it's not that they've now made it an infinite timer; it was always an infinite timer.
We just didn't know.
Yeah, because it undoes any kind of shock that when you go back and watch Matt Smith's run of, oh my gosh, he almost died and he has no more regenerations. And also, whenever in the original the original plotline of River Song killing him and it like being a big deal, it makes sense because we know that he only had 30 regenerations. It makes even more sense that the death was fake because we now know he had no more regenerations. But now that even that plotline is undone because he could have regenerated then.
And we've been fine.
Yeah, and considering we know nothing about his species anymore, for all we know, there is no way to block the original source of regenerations.
But now it's like, so yeah, they just came tumbling out of some portal, and it's like, so why, where?
The Doctor got shit out of the butthole of the universe.
They literally shat out of the universe's arse.
Yeah.
And they've just decided, hey, they've now birthed an entire race of people.
Yep.
And haha, welcome. Even though they were never said to be there at the start.
And also, isn't it lovely that regenerations are born from childhood experimentation? Isn't that fun?
Yeah. Yeah.
Also,
That's a
don't
bit
you
of a-
love it that when the
madness.
Master comes back, they undo Missy? They
Oh,
undo
yeah.
Missy's entire character arc and, progression and change into a more grey Doctor-like character.
Hmm.
But instead, they go, yeah, I'm regeneration, I grew my penis back, and now I'm evil again.
And now I'm angry.
Yeah. And also, all the time we, worked together and, we got along, we were starting to get some fuck out of here. I'm gonna make regenerating Cybermen.
I swear at times that the sexual tension between the two was pretty high.
Yeah. But,
And then it's all gone.
Yeah. But my thing is, the Time Lord Cybermen are stupid because the rule of 13 regenerations means that when you kill a Time Lord, they have no regeneration energy to regenerate. So they shouldn't be able. The Time Lord Cybermen shouldn't be able to regenerate because they're dead.
Wait, so they're based on dead Time Lords?
Yeah. So they shouldn't have any regeneration.
Yeah, there's nothing left.
Capabilities. They are just Time Lords.
They're shells.
With stronger flesh. Yeah. So even the logic of these new hybrid villains is stupid because that's not how regeneration works. Especially with your new canon of Timeless Child, because the only way that would make sense is if it was the who had that. If it was the timeless shitty bastard child who was the dead thing in there, and even then, it's dead. So how can it have?
Yeah.
How can it bring itself back to life?
If it's literally already gone.
And if it did, it would just blow up all of the Time Lord, the Cyberman components on it, and then be a regular Time Lord. So the Master, stupid. The companions, either forgettable or get told that they can't do things because the Doctor said so, even though it's very childish interpretation of a complicated moral view that the Doctor has, and just apart from that, it's just shit. It's just really, really shit. Yeah, and I'm not. From what I've seen about the more and more I see about the person replacing Jodie Whittaker, the more I'm concerned, because so far he's already made this weird comparison to marginalized people and the Doctor, because he's like, oh yeah, the Doctor really speaks to marginalized people because the Doctor's from nowhere, and that's really relatable to that. But
He literally has a home.
Gallifrey
Gallifrey exists.
Yeah.
Have you researched your role at all?
Yeah.
And they are alive. They're in a pocket universe somewhere.
Yeah.
You can't get to them, most likely, but they're alive.
Yeah. And
It really seems like he has not researched the role whatsoever.
yeah, and it feels weird that the entire problem that people had with the current thing is the whole weird progressive thing and the shit writing. So you continue to lean on the progressive spin of things, because if the show is good, no one's gonna care if it has a progressive message. It's the fact that the show is shit, and the reason it's shit is because you're focusing on the message rather than the show itself. So why are you continuing to champion the message before the show's even come out yet? Because all you're doing is making people less likely to jump back into it based on what you're saying, because they don't want any more of that.
They're just done. They're fed up. People are fed up with it, with being force-fed people's opinions and being like, hey, this is how you should think.
Yeah, because I don't even give a shit that dude is black. That's actively irrelevant.
I mean, it was going to happen eventually, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was going to happen eventually, and I mean,
and even
I
then,
feel like the
race
majority of people have no problem with it.
Yeah, because the race of the Doctor it's not really as big of a deal as the gender.
Actually, yeah, there are black Gallifreyans.
Yeah, not even that. The Doctor's been Scottish to English before, so race is kind of weird. Is not going to be as weird as an accent. I feel like it's weirder that the Doctor goes from "Good evening, love" to Scotland. From
Scotland.
Yeah, like he grows a Scottish accent. So growing some melanin is really nothing. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's not really as. I feel like it's not as big a deal as some people seem to think it is.
Yeah.
And that's all I think on it.
Yeah, because it's different. Like I feel like the race of the Doctor isn't as important because he's an alien. So he would have that would mean an entirely different thing to an alien with entirely different culture. So whereas gender would it's more of a like literal thing rather than a skin tone. So it has less like. It essentially doesn't matter as much if it changes.
I mean, I'm thinking I might possibly give the new season a chance, but it's a very, very small chance.
Yeah, I will give it a chance, but I'm not looking forward to it because everything I've seen is just like
it's not the best sign.
It's leading to more of the same or even worse somehow. Even though they brought the like original showrunner back, it's just like so out far. It feels like clickbait to get the new fans back in.
Yeah, it
rather
is.
Rather than anything of substance.
Which is quite worrying.
Yeah, quite.
It's like, it's just disappointing, really, seeing how everything's just seems to have kind of fallen, like, so far back from where it used to be.
Yeah, I don't like that everything I watch has been, like, fucked.
Yeah, a lot of stuff has happened like that.
Yeah, which is why I'm a weeb. This is what media has done to me. I'm a weeb now. Probably was.
We've gone to completely other countries and cultures to get our entertainment.
Because even if like it gets to like, because I watch dubs, and if a line gets changed, it's a line, so I can just ignore said line and move on with my day. But when an entire show is just shit, then you know it's harder to ignore.
It's harder to force that down your throat, really.
And especially because when something gets dubbed and changed, it's more insulting to the original creator. So people whatever message you're trying to send, it's an insult to whatever the person who created said show or manga did. So people aren't going to take that shit as easily.
No, definitely not.
So yeah,
like again, another thing. Like I've seen the new Obi-Wan show first came out last Friday, I think.
What do you think?
I haven't watched it yet because I'm gonna wait. I don't have Disney Plus at the moment, so I'm gonna wait and then.
I just leech off of my dad. It means I can watch all of the Disney I want without funding Disney. It's great.
Yeah, because it's like I am excited, but I'm also worried in that same way that people are just trying to. They seem to take these long existing popular projects and try to
change them.
Like they try to forcibly twist them into some like amalgamation of like it's so many different things with no like
it's that
purpose.
Kid that comes into an established friend group and then tries to control what jokes or what is tolerable in said group, even though they've been there for 5 minutes. It feels like that kind of vibe. Like you're coming into an established franchise and you're changing the rules based on your own internal logic rather than the established natural given rules for the people who are in the group.
Yeah, right. So actually, that's actually kind of brought something to my attention with how like Doctor Who is written, because I think it has been a very common thing for it to, like, each episode pretty much to be written by someone different.
Yeah.
And that kind of seems weird to me, because I think it might be partly with the whole, in Jodie Whittaker's stuff, that they never really seemed to line up very well.
I've heard that in the first season at least, like someone tried to defend this. I was speaking to someone, they tried to defend the first season. They're like, oh yeah, it got severely cut. Like all of these episodes were supposed to be two-parters, and they got cut down really heavily. And I was like, that's not a defense. You're just explaining why it's shit.
Yeah, that's literally... So they've spent too much time trying to produce something that they've had to cut it into two-parters every single time because they're trying to force too much information into one episode.
Yeah.
That's bad writing.
Exactly. I love the logic of, yeah, it could have been good, but here's why it's shit, and then you go, but this is why it's good, and I'm like, brother, friend, dear,
Mother, please.
Honey, boo boo, sweetie, come back. This
Please
what you've just
understand.
described, darling. What you've just described is shit. I do not want shit. Look at this. What you bring me, you shit on a plate and then tell me it's diamonds. What's wrong with you? What? Get out of here.
I do not believe you.
I cannot believe you, What is this?
God's sake. That does seem to be like... I can't help but think that it might possibly be a good idea to have a specific group of writers to just write a whole season together. So at least that way you've got like a solid end goal that everyone's agreed on, knows where they're going, and it all doesn't all like kind of like run in circles.
I think what they need to do is they need to have a show. The showrunner shouldn't be as... The showrunner should like be focusing on like their overall story arc or the direction they want the show to go in, and they should have a main group of writers that are the consistent like Doctor Who writers.
Yeah.
That way, you're always gonna get the same vibe, and it's not going to like the drastic changes are gonna be because the main goal is gonna be different every time that the new showrunner comes up. And I feel like that would have some stability, because right now every time a showrunner changes, the show has an entirely different vibe to it, and it's the reason that the Jodie Whittaker version has failed so much, because it's not just a tone change, because before the people who run it still understood what Doctor Who is and stuck to that. Was now they kind of want to change it into this new direction that focuses on a message rather than entertainment in it of itself.
Which is obviously, if you're not focusing on entertainment, you're going to get less views.
Yeah.
You're going to get less people watching the stuff, because why would someone watch anything if it's not entertaining?
Yeah, because if you want to say the message racism bad, if you want it to be entertaining, you're going to need to spend more than 5 minutes just saying racism is bad.
And then just moving on.
Yeah, especially because there are there are so many things you can talk about in terms of like stuff like that doesn't actively contradict the characters in your show, and also just come across like you just want to talk about why bigots are stupid rather than just have an actual conversation about the issues you want to tackle now.
Like, there is a small glimmer that it hasn't been fully lost yet.
Yeah.
It's not 100% gone.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy.
There's a road
to bring it
back,
back from where it is.
It's an uphill battle for sure.
Oh, definitely, without a doubt.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
I feel like there are many, many, many people that would agree with the majority of the stuff that it's just kind of fallen. It's fallen from grace, and getting back up to that point of being held in such a high regard is, if anything, even harder from getting there in the first place.
Yeah, because it highlights the worst part about it, the show has never looked better visually, but it's never been written worse, which is baffling. Like you have so much goodwill that you have a massive budget. You have a way bigger budget now. Yet the show has got worse. It highlights a really big problem in like. I feel like just the thought. I guess Western logic with media, it just feels very weird. Because I don't see this in anime or any other country where it's like they hate the people they want to pay money to their movies. Like I don't, in Japan, I don't. I feel like I'm speaking from like my weeb perspective. I've seen like clips of actors going, complaining that people won't watch their movie, and also almost seem like they're expecting people to watch their movies.
Yeah, they think just because of who they are, people.
Yeah, because of their message, and who they are, they think it's their right for people to spend their hard-earned money on them. But like in Japan, like people seem very grateful and like happy that people are able to like share in what they want to do and their culture. I feel like if you went to Japan and asked people, what do you think about, and you ask I get specifically people who like anime, because I don't think the random salaryman is going to be, what do you think of anime's mainstream appeal? I gotta go to work. Like,
I don't care. I really don't care.
I didn't ask. But yeah, like anime fans in Japan, they'd probably be like happy because it means, on the forefront, it means that the thing they've either grown up with, or the thing that's like the mainstay of like media in their country, I guess, it can now be found in like either friends they have online or just in general. Like if they go to a different country to study abroad or whatever, if they're younger, they now have something they can like share that's like a bit more universal. Whereas if you said the same thing to someone in America or England who had some movie that was coming out, or they like something, they would just be like, of course they like it, like they have to, like what are they, a bigot? And I'm like,
sorry, Nani.
Just like it feels like your priorities are so like it feels so weird to be that entitled while championing a message that's the opposite, should really be the opposite of that.
Yeah, it's no longer about entertaining people anymore.
Yeah.
It's just about making money. Well, to be fair, that's a lot of how the world is now, but you know.
Because we've had so many conversations about this where it's like, we don't understand the logic of we don't understand the logic of like someone who's like a bigot, because it's not that hard to. I feel like we've said this so many times. Just don't be an asshole. Like it ain't that hard, bro. Don't be an asshole. But at the same time,
let people do what they want to do.
Yeah, but at the same time, going into something entertaining and assuming that they are the asshole is just as bad, if not worse. It feels weird. Because it feels like both sides are crazy, but one side is now more socially acceptable to be crazy.
Actually, I can kind of see where you're coming from.
Yeah, because I feel like you remember back in the day with like, I guess it would be more of a in terms of censoring what goes on TV. It was more of a like. In terms of a conservative like narrative of you can't be doing these sexual things, you must remain like pure and shit. It was more of a like purity kind of thing rather than a message. So I feel like it both have their problems. I feel like this one is more irritating because it ruins the quality rather than you don't get to see like a certain like, rather than a character design. I much rather see less titty than a shitty story. Kind of is my point I'm trying to make.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't. That was
basically that's my point. Yeah, that's my point.
More story, less titty.
I'd rather give up a titty than a story.
Gods. You know what? I think that's a perfect time to just leave it there. That's the end point.
Yeah, so in conclusion, media dying. I'm not happy with every time I turn on my TV. I'm a little sadder, but also I'd give up a tea. So that's the end of the episode, I guess. We ended it there.
Yeah, that'll do.
Cool. So
It's a great place to end.
in conclusion, like, you know, Doctor Who can be good. We are having hope, but we're also pretty skeptical here at the unnamed entertainment facility. Yeah, if you didn't know, guys, we're in a basement. Like, we can't leave, and the only reason we're recording this podcast is because we're sending a message to the outside world.
Oh, God, why? Why'd you have to tell me? Oh my god. No.
Anyway, like and subscribe!
Oh my god.
Remember to smash that like button!
And turn on the notification bell.
Make sure that notification bell goes ding!
Just cut it there.
Yeah, we'll just, you know.
Just cut that there.